Now at 10, Freeman Health System gives details of the full-service hospital coming to Southeast Kansas. Plus, Joplin police give an update on yesterday's fatal rollover crash. And a Joplin nonprofit helps families get back-to-school supplies.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Freeman Health System announces the plans for its first full-service hospital in Southeast Kansas. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The hospital will be north of Pittsburgh on Highway 69 near the Harley-Davidson Training School. It'll be 170,000 square feet and include an ICU, pediatrics, and more. Freeman's executive officer, Paula Baker, says the 50-bed, $168 million hospital will create between 500 and 1,000 new jobs and improve rural healthcare access in Southeast Kansas.
We already have a great number of people who come to us from Pittsburgh, from Frontenac and surrounding communities. They've already selected us as their healthcare provider, so we want to bring that care close to home for all the residents of Southeast Kansas.
Freeman had recently announced plans to take over operations of the emergency room in Fort Scott and open a 10-bed acute hospital there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, hot outside for us today, but not a bad day, 91 degrees. The humidity wasn't too bad. Started at 64, and this is pretty much where we should be for the middle of July, or at least the front half of July, and it looks like it's going to get hotter as we go through the next few days. 73 in Stockton, 78 in Neosho, Grand Lake. Oswego is sitting at 77. We have Chanute at 79, so it's not bad. Most of us will drop back near 70 later on tonight. We do have a few showers and thunderstorms to our north, but we are dry. We are going to stay dry, except maybe our northern counties. You may get a few of these guys kind of sneak in a little bit later on tonight, but our rain chances at least go up a little bit for us as we go into tomorrow. 76 by 11, 71 by 7, dropping back 69 degrees. We'll look at those rain chances coming up here in just a bit.
See you soon. Joplin police today released more details on yesterday's fatal tractor-trailer rollover on Interstate 44. The driver of the tractor-trailer has been identified now as 58-year-old Mario Suarez of Blue Springs, Missouri. Suarez died in that crash. Police also say the truck was carrying a corrosive chemical which was safely cleaned up yesterday evening. Some school districts in Kansas are still trying to fill staffing positions before the fall semester begins. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
I call them most experienced staff members, sometimes known as baby boomers, are starting to retire, and that's a large number of folks not only in Southeast Kansas but across the nation, and so you're seeing the need for employment.
Pittsburgh USD 250 is just one of many Southeast Kansas schools in our area looking to fill staffing positions before the school year begins. Although there is still a teacher shortage nationwide, it's not necessarily teacher positions they are trying to fill.
We could currently need about 3 to 4 bus drivers to finish out our routing system for this year. We also have bus paraprofessionals, which are bus attendants who also ride the bus.
Here in Fort Scott at USD 234, it's a similar tune to what's going on in Pittsburgh. Not only are they seeking bus drivers, but also paraprofessionals, those people who can provide that little bit of extra help, not only for teachers, but for the students as well.
If the para wasn't there, that teacher might have to spend a lot more time with that student, or that student's behaviors might get out of control and just disrupt the whole class, those kind of things. And so the paras really help us to keep kids focused, and so that the teachers can work with all of the kids and not just 1 or 2.
Now, based on my conversations with school districts in Southeast Kansas, the teacher shortage that they may have experienced last year isn't what they're experiencing this year. However, there's still a need for those difference makers, such as bus drivers, custodians, and paraprofessionals that may not seem like they make a difference, but according to the districts, make all the difference in the world when it comes to teaching students. Reporting in Southeast Kansas, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
To see a full list of available positions at districts in Southeast Kansas, go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Bright Futures in Joplin is giving free back-to-school supplies to kids in need. Their executive director, Amanda Stone, says 63% of Joplin students experience economic deprivation. The organization provides pencils, crayons, folders, and coats.
We want our students, everyone, to be on the same playing field. So as long as the kids have what they need at school, then we hope that they can grow and alongside their peers.
To support Bright Futures, you can volunteer or donate to their general activity fund. Dr. Richard Biff Williams becomes the 12th president of Missouri State University in Springfield and is talking about his goals in the new role. The university launched a nationwide search for a new president last fall. Cliff Smart recently retired after 13 years in the top job, as well as many years as the university's attorney. Williams says he hopes to carry on the traditions and progress Smart made in his time there.
We'll be at games, we'll be at theater performances, we'll be everywhere. So I think there'll be a lot of similarities from the previous administration that you'll see me around, you'll see me interacting, you'll see my wife with me, you'll see a lot of student involvement because that's why we're here.
Williams comes to MSU with 25 years of leadership experience in higher education. He's served as a faculty member, dean, provost, and most recently as a president. Volunteers donate blankets to a cancer center in Joplin. That's coming up. Plus, Baxter Springs plans to turn part of the city into a massive work of art.
In sound theaters in
Baxter Springs Public Art Committee today announced plans for a historical mural that'll be unveiled in September. KOAM's Mitch Adams has that story.
Baxter Springs Mural Art Committee held a press announcement unveiling a new mural project near Baxter Springs High School. Officials say the purpose of the mural will be to visually depict the town's history, as well as encouraging community revitalization efforts.
Things, especially being across the street from a high school, like the students going to school every day, they can see it. And then it just kind of brings people through town. It helps them stop and want to check it out. They might stop at other places in town, and that's just really what we like to see.
The Office of Rural Prosperity, a division of the Kansas Department of Commerce, awarded Baxter Springs and 11 other small communities a public arts grant. State-issued grants like these encourage artistic expression, as well as bringing back vibrancy to these small rural towns.
We were lucky enough to receive the grant. It was a $7,500 award, and then Jim Hoskins with the Ronald O. Thomas Foundation was kind enough to step forward and match those funds, which was required, with another $75,000, which brought it to a total of $15,000.
We like to be able to showcase really great things about these rural communities. Whenever we see these grants come through for public art like this, we just really like and encourage seeing, things that are personalized for the towns.
The giant mural will be visible to visitors and residents alike, adding more historical value to an already historic Route 66. Reporting from Baxter Springs, I'm Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
You can find more information about the coming mural on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Volunteers from Subaru donated boxes of blankets to the Freeman Cornell Bashore Cancer Institute in Joplin today. The blankets provide warmth to cancer patients who are dealing with not only the stress of the illness, but sometimes the physical demands of the treatment. This donation marks 8 years of participation in the Subaru Loves to Care program. A little later, with 6 months to go in his term, the Missouri governor looks to keep 2 professional sports teams firmly in the Show Me State.
Plus, temperatures really heating up over the next few days. We're going to check that out coming up.
July 12th and 13th.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a hot one outside today. It is summertime, the middle of July, but temperatures right where they should be for this time of the year. And we look pretty good this evening. A nice shot of our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo's just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, let's zoom in. Let's check out some temperatures. 73 Stockton, 75 Monette, Bentonville at 78. Jay, Oklahoma, 77. Veneta at 78. Chautauqua, 77. And Neodesha also sitting at 77 degrees. 7th and range line, 77. Southeasterly winds are light. Visibility is fantastic. Dew points measure humidity. So most of the day they were sitting right around 60. They've creeped up a little bit tonight, as they usually do during the overnight hours, but it puts us in that not bad to sticky range, which is great. Anytime you get above 90 degrees, you definitely don't want the high humidity. We look good. We had some clouds earlier today, but clear skies now. Nothing showing up on the radar until you go north. You can see a complex of showers and thunderstorms dropping through the west side of the Kansas City metro. And a few of these guys, they're going to weaken, but a few of them may get into, Butler, Rich Hill, Nevada, over towards Stockton, Greenfield, a little bit later on tonight. But besides that, it's going to be pretty quiet as this complex kind of drops off toward the south and to the east. But this is a weak little wave that is going to rotate through. Now, we've been a little bit cooler with a northerly flow out of Canada, but high pressure is building out toward the west. And what this is going to do is build in as we head toward the weekend, and that really ups our temperatures a bit. Let me walk you through time. Through the overnight hours, we drop back near 70. Let's go through the morning hours. Partly sunny skies, near 90 by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, mid-90s, 91 Greenfield, 94 in Neosho, Gravette 93, 95 in Miami, 96 in Veneta, 95 Chanute, Fort Scott 92. But you can see some isolated thunderstorms popping up, especially along and north of I-44 through the evening hours. Probably not too strong, but they may have some heavy downpours, and they are going to be hit and miss. And then showers flaring up again tomorrow night after midnight into Friday morning. So we may start Friday with a few showers, and then once we get into Friday afternoon, hot, a little more humid, mid to upper 90s once you get into our western counties. Here's your Thursday day planner. 71 to start, 89 by noon, 91 by 4. I think high temp right around 94 degrees. And again, those isolated thunderstorms as we get into the afternoon. Now, temperatures start to heat up over the weekend. I think upper 90s. Here's Saturday afternoon. I think upper 90s again by Sunday afternoon. And then by Monday, we're going to start to approach that triple-digit mark Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. It doesn't look like the humidity is going to be off the chart, but still we'll have heat indices, 107 or 108. All right, 94 for you tomorrow, 95 on Friday, hit and miss storms. Pair of 97s over the weekend, then 100, 102, 102, and then cooling back down a little bit, hopefully with a cold front late next week.
Knew this relatively cooler weather we've experienced the last couple of days couldn't last.
I know.
It is July.
It's nice to get it, though.
It is nice. Thanks, Doug. Missouri Governor Mike Parson is trying to keep both of Kansas City's two major sports teams in his state. This comes after Kansas passed a law that would allow for a generous amount of sales tax funding to be used for luring the teams away. Betsy Webster has the latest.
When Jackson County voters nixed a sales tax deal this spring, it was a package deal for both teams. The governor said that was a mistake that cannot happen again.
I think you got to split the Chiefs and the Royals. They're two different entities and two different business adventures here that we're going to be talking about. So number one, I think you got to start with that.
For the Royals, site selection is key. You'll recall before the team picked a location in Jackson County, North Kansas City threw its hat in the ring. That's why the governor met with Clay County officials in addition to Kansas City's mayor and the Jackson County executive.
There's lots of options out there. There's lots of options the state has, the city has, and the county has. But all three need to be working in the same direction.
As for Arrowhead, Kansas is offering tax-based funding for a whole new stadium. But Parson anticipates being able to sell the Chiefs on a renovation.
You know, I haven't talked to Clark or Mark yet. I mean, we've been in meetings before, but I think they really want Arrowhead to stay. I think it's a unique arena. So I think if we refurbish Arrowhead, if the Royals move out, that gives the Chiefs a lot of opportunities in that space.
Governor Parson's term in office is up in 6 months. Still, he believes he can mediate any potential deal, so it works for all parties involved. It's fair season here in the 4 states, and this week the Cherryvale Youth Fair is underway. Young exhibitors, a part of Montgomery County 4-H, have been setting up to show off their livestock, including rabbits. One exhibitor told us why she loves it.
So this is actually my favorite fair of all the fairs I've gone to. It has a family-like atmosphere. You get so close with everyone here. The Cherryville Fair always gives back to the community, which is awesome.
That fair is open to the public. Still ahead, 4 wrestlers from Frontenac prepare for a national tournament in North Dakota. And the Joplin Outlaws try to beat Fort Smith for the second night in a row. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Attack.
The Frontenac Wrestling Club is sending 4 athletes to the national championships in Fargo, North Dakota this weekend. Abby Albright, Maya Courtney, Harper Holmes, and Piper Lowe are all ready to face some of the best competition in the country.
I'm looking forward to competing against some tough girls and just learning more about the type of wrestling. And I'm also really excited because I got injured this season, so I get to come back and wrestle some this summer and make up for the matches I missed.
I think it'll help me by, like, in the future I'll really get to know, like, what's up and, like, the real competition, especially because it's my first year going, because I was too young to go last year. But I think it'll be pretty good knowing, like, going at such a young age, so then in the future I know, like, how I can really prepare.
I think I'm just going to get better skill. I get more experience by wrestling other people out there, so it's going to help out.
It's pretty cool. I think that it'll help us as a team next year too. Just we'll all be experienced.
The Joplin Outlaws are back in action this evening on the heels of last night's 3-2 victory over the Fort Smith Marshals. Those two teams square off again tonight. Outlaws closing out their homestand against Fort Smith. Joplin's Bats struggle in the early going against Marshall's starting pitcher Jonathan Martinez. He strikes out the side in the second inning. All 3 Outlaw hitters go down swinging, but in the bottom of the third, with the Outlaws down 1-0, Rayvon Morgan smashes this pitch to deep right center, and it falls just in front of the wall. He legs out an RBI double that ties the game at 1. Fort Smith gets that run right back, though, in the 4th inning. Christian Altamirano crushes one down the line and right. It stays fair, it scores a run, and he cruises into 3rd with a stand-up triple. The game stays close until Fort Smith scores 7 in the top of the 6th. Final check of the score has Joplin trailing 15-10. Over in the Mink League, the Nevada Griffins on the road in Jeff City tonight. It's been a long season for Nevada, who's in last place in the league standings. They fall 6-3 to the defending champs from Jefferson City. Griffins play again tomorrow in Sedalia, who just beat them in both ends of a doubleheader yesterday. Over to Major League Baseball, the 2024 edition of the I-70 series between the Royals and Cardinals begins today. The 2 MLB teams from the Show Me State play a doubleheader in St. Louis, with the front end starting at 12:45 this afternoon. The Royals win Game 1 of the doubleheader. After falling behind 3-0, they score the next 6 runs. They go on to win 6-4. Salvador Perez had 2 big RBIs in that contest. Same story in Game 2. Kansas City wins that one 8-5. And former Cardinal Michael Wacha earns the win on the mound for KC. He throws 5 innings, allowing 3 runs and striking out 3. Now the 2 of them just have one more series left before the All-Star break. The Cardinals play the Cubs. The Royals go to Boston and play the Red Sox.
It's tough for the Cardinals to lose 2 to the Royals and one of them to their own former pitcher. We'll be right back.
$1 million in total cash and goal reward.
According to the X-Files TV show, the truth is out there. But for residents of one Arkansas town, the truth might be a little closer to home. Alejandro Hernandez has the story behind a close encounter for a retired scientist.
I was expecting to see a little green man, all right? I'm not gonna lie to you.
For Newport residents like Raymond Beckles, it was a conversation that opened his mind about what's out there. On Tuesday, the city of Newport hosted scientist Mark Wentz. The scientist was there to talk about physics and how it could relate to out-of-world experiences people have.
This is very serious stuff. If you really do your research, especially look at, West Hall incident and the aerial phenomena incident and many others, you can't laugh some of these things off.
Wentz spoke in a room full of curious people. He said it's important for scientists to pay more attention to out-of-this-world experiences people have. He said he didn't take it too seriously until he had his own experience.
It was like somebody had a giant Van de Graaff generator there, and you're feeling these vibes. Giant electric field.
Now I know what you're thinking. A lot of these experiences are sounding more to the paranormal side than the extraterrestrial, but Wentz says they could be related.
I'm not saying it correlates for all paranormal activities, obviously, but these two places, regions, they correlate. So I don't know the connection. I'm just saying there might be a connection.
Beckles said he came to have fun, but learned people he knew might have those same out-of-world experiences.
I think there's more to this world than we see.
For Wentz, there's a complicated science with experiences people have, but he wants those people to be taken more seriously.
Take them at their word and see how it relates to trying to figure out the mysteries in physics.
I don't know. Maybe someday we will know. Maybe we will never know.
I think we're slowly figuring it out. More and more's been out there. So kind of cool. But I'm not a physicist.
You're not. But you are a scientist. And
I
you
am.
Keep your eyes on the sky.
I do. But I don't see any UFOs out there. Maybe someday.
What do you see out there?
I do see temperatures rising. They are going up. 94 tomorrow, 95 on Friday, and a few isolated little thunderstorms, which would be nice to get a little rain.
Mm-hmm. Final sports note.
The Outlaws getting real familiar with the Marshals after playing them tonight. They play them in Fort Smith through the end of the weekend.
A lot of Outlaws are familiar with Marshals. Usually it's of a different sort. Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
Captioning on KOAM